For more than 6 decades, the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, has been providing humanitarian support to foreign countries in crisis. Today, the agency is in its own state of crisis. The Washington, D.C. headquarters has been closed to its employees, and hundreds of contractors have been laid off or furloughed. Now, despite the uncertainty ahead, its workers are fighting back, and hundreds showed up for a rally to protest the agency's shutdown. CTV's Katera Jones was at that rally and is in the studio with more. Katera?
That's right, Michaela. The protesters we spoke to today at the USAID rally in Washington, D.C. are upset, frustrated, and deeply concerned about the future of the agency and the people who rely on those critical services. The United States Agency for International Development is America's foreign aid agency that supports countries around the world in conflict. Now, as we reported, President Donald Trump shut down the agency and closed its D.C. headquarters to its employees earlier this week. The president made this move after talks with billionaire Elon Musk, who is spearheading the Department of Government Efficiency, commonly referred to as DOGE. USAID workers were told not to come into the agency D.C. headquarters on Monday, and many were locked out of the agency's computer system. Now, we had an opportunity to speak to some of those workers today, like Charlotte Colvin from Chevrolet. She was a USAID contractor who had her work email cut off 9 days ago. Then the next day, she was laid off. Her work focused on supporting the agency tuberculosis programs. Then there is Chris Conklin from Alexandria. He was furloughed and told by his contractor last week to turn in his government-issued devices. Now, these stories are just some of the examples of the local impact of Trump's recent decision.
This is an overreach of the executive branch. We need for people to realize that there are people who are dying. Personally, I know of 2 clinical trials I was overseeing for children with tuberculosis that have now been shut down. And we're going to see, we've got a big Ebola outbreak happening in Uganda at the same time that one of our biggest partners there, Laboratory Systems, just lost 600 of their staff. And we need for Congress, honestly, to stand up.
I decided to come out today because I believe in what, the best that America has to offer. We're the greatest, strongest country in the world. We can't turn our back on the world. We can't turn our back on the world's most vulnerable and those that, are in times of need.
Marco Rubio, who is currently serving as the Secretary of State, is now the acting administrator of USAID. Reports also show there are about 10,000 USAID workers globally. Back to you, Michaela, at the desk.